Hey, all right, guys. So, welcome to our mastermind group. This is the Thursday group. I'm excited. Hopefully, we have more people jumping on a little bit later. But this is going to be a phenomenal round of mastermind groups. I'm so excited about this simply because of how the last one ended. For those who are on my last mastermind group, the focus was on leadership, just as it is with this one, and it turned out really well. In talking with some of the coaches who were in that group, I think there was a lot of things that were learned, and we kind of know what our emphasis is on. Just as kind of a fun side note, the other day, Doug Moss pulled me into his office, and on his whiteboard, he had papers covering up parts of his whiteboard, and he said, you work with the 3 to 8 star diamonds. What do you talk about? Give me the top 5 things that you talk about on your mastermind group. So I explained kind of what I think are the top 5 things. And then he took the papers off his whiteboard and revealed some very interesting things. He had done the same thing with the associate managers who work with Diamond to 2 star. He did it with all of the managers who work with the 3 to 8 stars. And he did it with the directors who work with 9 to 15. And it was fascinating that all of the associates said pretty much the exact same thing. They all pretty much focus on top things that they focus on is getting the coaches set up for success. Simply meaning making sure that they are doing the things that they need to do, that they wake up every morning, that they do their invites, that they do they start reaching out to people, that so they start doing the basics to build their business. That is what they focused on, and all of them said that. And when it comes to the coaches that I work with, the 3 to 8 star diamonds, all the managers agree that you guys have established good habits, that you have brought your business up to a certain level, not by mistake, but you brought it up to a certain level. You kind of know the routine, and because you're now growing and developing people, the thing that we talk about most is leadership. How to help, how to inspire, how to get people to take action who you work with. That's 100% one of the things that I talk about. For those who do one-on-ones with me, you know that to be a T of what we talk about is how to get people to act. How do we get them to want to do this? You're starting to become a leader. And then when it comes to the upper ranks from the 9 to 15, they've kind of figured that out, and now it's all about duplication. So it was really interesting when Doug and I talked about this. And so I feel like this mastermind group fits perfectly into what we're going to be doing, and make sure that you guys are fit, make sure you're set for success in 2018. January has been a fun month. It was a successful month for a lot of coaches. It was kind of a fun wave to ride. And now with being February with Team Cup, the wave continues. And I hope you guys are feeling the excitement. I hope you're taking advantage of that. So this mastermind group, we have some new faces on here. I want to make sure you guys understand how these mastermind groups will go. If you've been on mastermind groups in the past, this is not a mastermind group where one person takes a topic, they come on, they present, the rest of us kind of go like this, and then we move on. That's not how I run my mastermind groups. This is very much an interactive group. What you put into this is what you'll get out of it. And what I mean by that is this is a participating group. I am going to be giving homework assignments each time. I'm going to be asking you guys to try new things. I'm going to be stretching you, and then you're going to come back and report. And we're going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. And because this group's going to go until Summit in June. And I want you guys to be the best of friends. I want you guys to, come June, to be, oh my gosh, what a fun ride that was from February till June. We now know more. We now know how to talk to people. Like, my goal, ideally, is to have a lineup of 10 people who have completely different personality types, who think completely different, and you can look at each one of them and say, I know how to help you, I know how to help you, I know how to help you down the line. Because in the end, and I think a lot of you will say this, but we want to find coaches like us. Well, duh, because you're workers, of course we want to find people like us. But guess what? You're not going to. You're going to find people who need help in their lives. And you're going to have to look at them and say, let's do this. I can help you. That's how you're going to grow. That's how you're going to grow as a team, by taking the people you currently have and will find and working with them, rather than hoping and wishing that someday you're going to find the person just like you. To me, that's hope. And I've said this to a few of you, and I know this sounds weird. I want to take hope out of your vocabulary, in the sense that when you say, well, I hope I find somebody like me, or I hope people pick up the pace, I hope people start working. No more hope. We're going to make it happen. And it's going to happen because we take action. So anyways, I'm getting fired up. I gotta simmer down here. This isn't a preaching session. So here's what we're going to do today. Today is kind of an introduction call. I want to make sure you guys are familiar with each other, because you are going to do most of the talking from here on out on the calls. So I'm just going to simply have you guys do this. And you saw the homework assignment, hopefully. I want you to introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about you, how you got started with the Beachbody, how long you've been, yada, yada, whatever you want to say. And then when it comes to leadership, and I do want you to do this, I want you to say what you're good at. You did not get here by mistake. You're not where you're at rank-wise and income-wise by mistake. You are a good leader in some aspects. It's okay to do your own horn. So tell us what you're good at when it comes to leadership, and then tell us your areas of improvement when it comes to leadership, the areas you feel like you want to improve on. I've done this a few days. Most people go directly to what they suck at. No, you're good at something. Let's talk about what you're good at too. I have my pen and paper. I'm a pen and paper guy. I'll be writing down the good and what you want to improve on, and that will kind of set the stage for our topics for the rest of our mastermind group. So we'll kind of go top to bottom, left to right. Chris, you jumped on. I'll have you go first, if that's all right.
Okay, sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Chris Delastrito, and I have been a coach since August of 2009. I didn't decide to work the business. Initially, it was just to get a discount. I had had success with P90X starting in March of 2009, and I was approached by my coach, and I said, sure, I want to do P90X Plus. I'll get a discount, and I had someone else interested. So I started, and then we just started connecting as a local group. And then in January 2010, I went to my first event, and I was like, this is for me. That just changed my mind completely. And I was diamond by June, and I've stayed consistent the whole entire time since then, going from one program to the next. Pretty much have completed every program from beginning to end. And which I feel is a huge strength of mine, because we need to be a product of the product. If we're not doing it, how can we expect our teammates to do it? How can we expect our customers to do it? And I've really been able to set that example. I really believe if this is our job, we have to get through all those programs. And if we don't know those programs inside and out, how can we recommend it to other people? And one of the biggest strengths that I've have is really being consistent with the 4 vital behaviors. And I really talk about that a lot with people on my team. Is consistency is key in everything. Consistency, follow up. Never give up on people. Don't take no. Always find answers to objections. And I always try to spin a negative into a positive. The biggest struggle I'd say for me right now is really building leaders. I feel like I'm at a standstill. I had reached Lifetime is current 6-star, and I drop in and out. I can't get my 5-star back. It's completely frustrating. I was there for a long time, and so that's really my focus this year, but it's that one side and really getting people to do the work. People fall in and out constantly. They're not consistent, and that's the downfall. So I feel as a leader, something I need to work on is delegation. I feel like in some ways I'm enabling a lot of my coaches. I noticed that with a lot with challenge groups, that they pop in and hop into my groups. Well, it's time for them to step up. And I had someone in particular do her first 2 free groups, and she's like on fire now. So we really have to teach them how to be as independent as possible, guide them, motivate, inspire them. But that's kind of where I'm at right now. And it's a huge struggle to really get more leaders on the team. Sometimes I feel like it's all on me, and it's a lot of work. And that's probably the biggest thing is sort of I'm not feeling burnt out. I love this, but it's just getting people to see the benefits of this whole opportunity.
Yep.
So.
I agree. I'm trying to hold back all my comments, and I think coaches are as well. I think as we start hearing other things, we'll want to chime in with some suggestions. Hold on to those suggestions when we do that topic for the call. Consistency is definitely up there, and duplication and building leaders, all of those great things. I think you get a lot of nods as well, Chris, from these coaches. They're like, yeah, I know. Tell me how to build leaders. I get it. So that's a common topic. Thank you for sharing that. That was perfect. Denise, we'll have you go next.
Hey, everybody. Can you hear me? Okay, good. My name is Denise De La Rosa. I am born and raised in the Bronx. I've been coaching for 4.5 years now. I started in 2013, and I was that dream sign-up coach, and I was assigned to someone. I was that person who was not on Facebook. I was completing Beachbody programs at home, and then I said, listen, I'm going to try this Shakeology, and it was amazing. I was at the time studying to become a personal trainer, and I was a stay-at-home studying to become a personal trainer. And I figured, all right, let me add coaching to the repertoire. Why not? I'm going to save some money, and I can help my friends and family online. But I wasn't on Facebook. I was not on Facebook. So immediately, as soon as I signed up, that same evening, my personally sponsored coach reached out to me. Her name is Rebecca Ingham. Since then, we became the best of friends, and she's taught me everything she knew. But since I was studying, I didn't really start the business right away. I literally just discount coached for the first year. And at the end of my first year, I found myself as a head trainer in a boot camp, helping to build somebody else's dream. And I was getting up at 4:00 in the morning every day, not seeing my kids. My marriage was struggling. My income was a disaster. And I said, enough, because I have this business that I own that's not getting any attention. And I see people literally losing more weight at home because I'm coaching them than the people I lay hands on at the boot camp. It was ridiculous. The people that I was training at the boot camp were not having any sort of transformation. Yeah, we had fun. They showed up to work out, but then I had no control of what happened when they walked out the door. So it made no sense. All the studying that I did to become a top trainer was totally, it was a lie. I was not changing lives. When I started to work the business, that fulfillment to me was unlike anything I've ever felt as a personal trainer. And then I said, I'm going to go all in. So this last year, 2017, I went all in, balls to the wall. And I had my 3 biggest rank advancements, and I ended that year at 3-star diamond. And here I am right now, like with this automatic team of people who I feel I don't know how to lead, because in my head, I'm still that personal trainer. I'm still trying to root people on to reach their goals. And while they're reaching their goals, they're starting their own business. So I need this mastermind more than anything right now, because I feel like my strengths as a leader is I'm unapologetically me. I'm me. I'm from the ghetto, and I don't shy away from that. So I know my people. I know who I speak to. I know who I attract. I attract that already fit mom who wants to take it up another level. You know, I can't get these big 100-pound weight loss people, and that's okay. I know who I attract. I push my people to reach their goals, but I don't do enough of the business aspect. So that's my weakness. And I rely a lot on my upline. You know, I don't try to reinvent the wheel, which is a good thing because I have a big support system within my upline and all the leaders that are in there. So I want to, with this, now learn how to move forward and take it that next step and become that leader that I know I could be.
Yes, holy cow, love the passion. That was fun to listen to. Thank you for sharing that. You're going to really enjoy this series of mastermind groups. I think you'll get a lot out of it. And by golly, if we ever need to be inspired, we're coming to you. That was a lot of fun to listen to. Thank you for sharing that. Taryn, let's have you go next.
Hi, everyone. I am Taryn Dickey. I've been a coach since June of 2013. The reason I became a coach was because I am a former school counselor, and 11 days after I gave birth to my first daughter, I got a letter in the mail letting me know my contract wasn't being renewed. And so I was looking for an opportunity to work from home. I had also had a baby about a year ago, so I was like, I probably should get back in shape. So it kind of just all came together. I'm a lifetime 6-star, currently 2-star, but I'm totally fine with that because I'm not capping at anything just yet. So until that happens, I'm fine with where I am rank-wise. I would say my strengths, I'm a Ruby personality, so I have no problem talking about my strengths. My strengths are I'm really good at instilling belief. And I'll use hope in an appropriate way. I'm good at instilling hope with my team. Really great at rallying the troops, especially around launch time. It's one of my favorite things. I can get the entire team all jazzed up and excited about doing a new program, and we do it together, and it's a lot of fun. I'm really good at modeling positivity for them. So in any instance where like they come to me and they're like, oh, so-and-so said no, or so-and-so backed out, or I crickets or whatever, I'm really good at modeling, all right, well, let's think about it this way, or let's, a no is just a not now. And, I think I do a really good job at that. And I'm really great at creating like a really, I don't know, the culture on our team is amazing. You go into our team page and it's like just this big old love fest. I have had horrible bosses in the past who just say what you're doing wrong all the time. And so and not that I'm their boss, but when I decided that, I was a little bit of a leader, I wanted to create a culture where we just love on each other and we celebrate and, we don't really focus on what's not going right. We focus on what's going well. So things I struggle with, though. My organization, I have ADD, so my organization is atrocious. My follow through is also not so hot. Could stand to be improved. I am a middle child, so I'm like a peacemaker. So, when people come to me and say, I think I might take a step back, or I'm not really like in a good place or whatever, I tend to be like, that's okay, as opposed to pushing them a little bit and reminding them of their why and encouraging them to kind of push through. I'm pretty decent at doing that with my challengers, but for some reason, translating that over to coaching is a bit of a struggle for me. And then just getting people moving. I kind of take the let's see who rises to the top and work with them approach, simply because that's how I was. Like, I just worked. And, my coach is amazing and I'm so blessed to have him. And he's always there, still is always there. But like, I did the work. And so he worked with me because I did the work. And otherwise, I kind of just treat my coaches as challengers if they're not kind of matching that. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but that's just kind of how I've been rolling. So, hi. And Juliet wants to say hi.
I get it. Get it. That's a very common thing a lot of coaches say is, when people come to me and say, well, actually, I thought I wanted this, but I guess I don't. How do we respond? And how do we get them to not only become a lifer, but eventually want to work the business? And we got thoughts. Got thoughts. And so I wrote that down. That's actually a really good topic we can definitely have. So cool. Thank you for sharing that. Jess, you're up next.
Okay. I apologize if there's like a baby goes crazy. I'm trying to avoid that by taping everything to the floor so she can color on it. Hopefully not on my kitchen floor, but on the paper. So apologize in advance. So I'm Jess. I have been a coach for about 4.5 years, similar to a lot of you who've already talked. I signed up in July of 2013. to get in shape for a wedding initially. And little did I know that this little thing that helped me lose, 16 pounds and 12 inches in 21 days, because I did the reset first off, that would start just kind of tumbling into a business that I never expected or knew about. I did, like Chris, I did P90X originally in 2009 to get in shape for my sister's wedding, and darn it, I wish I knew about the opportunity then, but here I am 4.5 years later, and this has taken me places that I never imagined, only dreamt about. I was a first grade teacher for 9 years, and then I found this business and built the business pretty much part-time while I was teaching. I would work when I could on my prep or before school, after school, nights. So my determination is definitely a strength. My consistency is a strength. And then I was fortunate enough that we started a family, and I was able to leave my teaching position because of where my business kind of took off to. And that's probably also a downside. I don't really give myself credit sometimes for the work that I had to put in to get to that point, because I feel like it's tooting my own horn, and I don't necessarily, I'm not the person to usually do that. So it might be happening, Kevin, I don't know. But so I'm home now. I'm a full-time coach and a mom to an 18-month-old who's crazy and unpredictable, but it's amazing because I get to be home with her. So leadership strengths, I'd say I'm very similar actually to Taryn in that I'm more of like a lover when it comes to my team. Sorry, guys. But I'm really good at leading by example. I'm really good at being consistent. Evie, that's horrible. I'm really good at building relationships. So I think that's why my business has maintained such strength over the years, is because this is a relationship business, and I have very little people who fall off and go unnoticed when it comes to being challengers in my groups. I'm really good at following up with my customers and my discount coaches. And so that's a certain strength of mine that I really do. I don't mind telling myself that I do a good job on that. Improvement wise, I am not at all a numbers person. When I take every single personality quiz, it comes back that is my area of weakness, and I know it. So I'm working on that, specifically with Kevin, on tracking and being more about the business, not just the relationships behind this business. So numbers, organization, tracking, those are the things that I'm really looking to improve upon, and treating this business like a business and not just a hobby that it was while I was building it. So that's kind of where I am. Did I say I was lifetime 3-star, but currently 2-star diamond? Bumping that up this year. Big plans, especially now that I'm tracking it and watching where it's all going.
Yes, ma'am. We are definitely tracking numbers. One of the things that Jess and I talk a lot about is success doesn't happen by accident. If you want to become successful, if you have big goals, big dreams, it's going to happen because you made it happen. It's going to happen on purpose. And, willy-nilly kind of just once again, hoping that I'm having so much fun with my business and all of these people. And oh my gosh, I have no idea what rank I am or how much I'm making or how I even got here. No, that's not success. I think when you are determined to get where you want to go, success will happen on purpose. And that's something that I think we need to talk about as well. But yeah, definitely. So it's fun to talk to her about that. Okay. Stephanie, you are next.
Hey guys, sorry if I'm a little distracting. My 15-month-old is like crawling everywhere. So I've been a coach, same thing, like 4.5, 5 years. I was a full-time MRI tech at Children's Hospital Boston. So it was like a dream job of mine. I had it for about 15 years right out of college, but the job had changed. I wasn't loving it. I then moved to New Hampshire. So I had 3-hour commutes. I had 14-hour work days. I was not happy. I was crying most days driving home. And when coaching was presented to me, I was at that like 20 years of emotional eating. I was 50 pounds overweight. I tried everything in the book, every diet, every shake, every weight loss, binging, all that stuff. And I was like, at that point in my life where I was done with starting over. I was done with starting something, failing, starting over, failing. And so I said, this is it. Like, it was January of 2013. And I said, this is going to be the first year of my life at 33 that I'm going to wear a bikini. And I started drinking Shakeology. I had never heard of it. And I had done like Turbo Jam back in the day. And in 3 months, I lost 25 pounds. And it was like the like gift from God I had been waiting for my whole life. And I lost 50 pounds over the first year. And because I had so much success with the product, I had so much success my first year. Like, I paid off all my debt that I had like $10,000 in credit card. I had student loans. I had a Lexus I was paying for. I had a condo in Boston I owned. I had a lot of debt. And so I became my best me in like 5 months, and that just really kicked off my business. And then after that happened, I was like, maybe I could be like a stay-at-home mom one day. I never thought that could happen because it's so expensive. And I wanted to be able to talk to other women and not be like the stay-at-home moms that are like, I can't wait to get out of my house to like talk to other human beings. And so I just pushed and I worked hard and I had crazy hours and commutes, but I did like what we teach people. I did it in pockets of time. So I had Cash, my little guy right here, last October, and I left my job and I've been home with him for this first year. Was my first year as a new mom and a full-time coach, which was like a lot. I was like, I'm going to kick ass and take names and I'm going to be like a 10-star. And then I became a new mom and I was like, what the hell was I thinking? Like, I don't know what I'm doing. So it was a lot. So it actually was like a reality check that like momming was my first job. And then I had to keep my business going. And it was a hard year for me with, you know, losing people and things like that. Meaning like coaches and things like that. So, it was definitely a rocky year. I feel like my income went down a little bit versus every year was almost doubling. So for I wrote some things down because I knew I'd have some little guy in the background. So consistency, like I've had Success Club 10 for like 40 months. Like I am consistent, enthusiastic. I feel like I inspire and motivate my team, leading by example, good about like building a vision, like me saying, just because you're busy, we're all busy. We all have the same 24 hours in a day, and really trying to like get people to believe in themselves no matter what their lifestyle is. Giving them the resources to be successful, integrity, loyalty, knowing I care about them. The things I struggle with, definitely similar to some of you guys, because I'm like a lover like you guys. I feel like I enable a lot. And if like someone's like, oh, you know, I have too much going on in my life right now. You know, I have this and this and this, where like, if that was me, I'd be like, I'm going to make it happen anyway, but they don't do that. And so I say, okay, you know, I understand. Organization, I feel like there's parts of me that I have OCD about organization and time management, but then like some parts of my business, I feel like it's sometimes just like a shit show. And I think because I work in pockets of time still, even though I'm a full-time coach, because I have Cash, it's like, as soon as he goes down for a nap, I work, but he could nap for an hour, he could nap for 3, he could nap for 30 minutes. And it's hard for me to figure out what to get done. So I always tell myself, like, just invite, because that's what will move your business forward. But that's like the one thing I'm a little better at it because it's changed my life, but I feel like it's still the one thing that I have this like pit in my stomach sometimes when I invite people. So eating that frog, but like when I do just invite for like an hour, I feel so good after that I did it. And I'm like, if I just would remember, like when you work out, you know, you're going to feel good after, like just to do the stuff that's hard, because you know, it's going to make you feel good. And tracking, like I use Teamsy, which I love. But I feel like because I've been so on the go with my work that I haven't been good with tracking. Like I'm doing so much on the go, like on my phone, or I'll just like, if he's doing something for a couple of minutes, I'll shoot off an email. So my tracking hasn't been as good. And just this year I talked to Kevin about it. I wasn't doing great with like one-on-one calls and keeping like in touch with my coaches. They tell me their goals and I'd say, if you want to talk, I'm here for you. Like, but I'm saying like, so now every 2 weeks I have a calls with my coaches and like 3 of them are like this close to diamond. So like 5-star is just like my goal for Summit. And so, yeah, just kind of keeping them like reminding them of their why every day and just getting better about reminding them like all the time, like, why are you doing this? Because so many of them have bigger dreams and it's like, you see so much potential in them. And some of them work so hard and you're like, you want them to just hit their goals so bad. So yeah, I guess that's it.
That's perfect. Boy, I think you take us on a journey that we've all been through, working with people and individuals, and our own journey, and like, holy cow, how did I get here? And now that people look up to me, how do I talk to them? How do I get them to move? Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be such a fun group, and you guys are like all the same, like been coaching pretty much the same time frame, which is a lot of fun too. This isn't a spike. This is something you guys have been around for. So thank you for sharing that. We'll move right on to Lindsay.
Hi guys. Okay, can you hear me? Good. I'm in my car. Okay. All right. So pretty much what you've all said is kind of a summary of my story. I am a mom of 4. I started Beachbody when I had my 3rd baby. I was a music teacher for 7 years, and I hated it. I worked for the New York City Department of Ed, and it was just miserable. And I never thought, I didn't even know what Beachbody was. And I signed up, like, as soon as I started my program, after I had my 3rd baby, I signed up for the discount, and within 2 weeks, I had hit Success Club. Like, it was like immediate that I just saw it. I just had the vision, and I just loved it so much, and I never wanted to go back to work. And I was like, I'm going to do this. And then, so that was when my daughter was like 2 months old, and that was my 3rd. And then about 3 months later, after I had my like results with P90X3, and I was like, I'm going to be a millionaire. This is going to be amazing. I found out I was pregnant again with an IUD. And so I was pregnant with my 4th when I was about to leave for Summit to go to Vegas and all that jazz. So that was fun. But I still was like, I'm not giving up on this. I have this vision and I never want to go back to work. And I didn't. Like, I kept hitting Success Club. I became a diamond coach. I became a premier coach. Then I was an elite coach. And then everything just completely fell apart after I became elite, which was last year. Was it last year? Last year I was elite. All of my coaches that made me elite quit or just stopped working the business, and I really had to start from scratch. So that's what I worked on last year. Was during my elite year of celebration, I worked on rebuilding. So that's kind of my story. I would say my strengths are that I was a teacher and I do know how to handle different types of people and how to kind of like differentiate instruction. And like, some people are visual people, some people need that one-on-one call, some people need me to hold their hand. You know, like I feel like I get that, where some of the coaches who I work with who were in business, they're like, why aren't they understanding this? You know, so I do get that. Weakness. I'm very consistent. I've been doing this for 4 years, and I just don't ever stop, no matter what. Like, I show up every single day. But some of my weaknesses is that I've been thinking about lately. I'm not organized at all because I'm always on the go with 4 kids, and I don't like to sit down at a desk at all. Every morning, I'm like, Lindsay, just go sit at your desk. Like, you have an office. And I'm like, I don't want to. Like, I really don't want to sit at my desk. I'd rather sit in my car and work on my phone than sit at my desk for whatever reason. And then at the end of the day, I have no idea how many people I spoke to, who I invited, who signed up as a coach, who bought a challenge pack. And every night I'm like, damn, if I just wrote this down, I think I'd be doing a lot better, you know, but I don't for whatever reason. And a weakness I have is that I've been burned a lot of times by a lot of people that I thought were in it to win it, and they just left me. I don't want to say poor me, but they left. It wasn't for them, and I gave them everything I had, and so I fear making these new relationships with these new people as I'm starting to grow my team again. I mean, I'm doing it, but it's scary to do it. So that's something that I need to like get over. And I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty more weaknesses in there, but right now my biggest one is just the struggle of like, why can't I just sit at a desk? Like, why can't I sit and write things down? So that's it. that's really just me, mama for trying to make it happen.
Yep. Lindsay and I have been talking for a while, and 2017 was kind of a rebuilding year for her, but it was a good process, and she came out better because of it. It wasn't a stressful thing.
No, I really had a great year of rebuilding, and so far this year, it's been great. Like, it's so nice to have people that like really care and like really work.
Yeah.
But it's scary too, because I'm just so afraid that they're gonna be like, oh, you know what, Lindsay, this isn't for me, and I'll be like, oh, here we go again, you know.
Yep.
So
yep, I get that. So I'm pretty sure a topic that we're going to have is organization. I think everybody's mentioned organization. But once again, guys, I'm glad you recognize that's an area of improvement for you, because successful people are organized. I can promise you the top 10 coaches, and I realize you may or may not have top 10 dreams, but the top 10 coaches didn't get there by accident. I promise you, they made it happen. They are organized to a T. And they all have different personality types, but they are organized. And they work, and it doesn't look the same. They're all organized in different ways, but it works for them. So we need to find out what works for you when it comes to organization, because you all have different lives. You all have whatever is going on. And life's not going to slow down or stop for you to become successful. You're going to have to figure it out. And that's something that we'll definitely talk about in one of our calls. So thanks for doing that. All right, Megan, bring us home.
Boy, that's a lot of pressure. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, I just felt like so much stuff was so relatable, guys. So I was like adding to, I'm like, oh, there's another weakness I have when you guys are like listing your strengths. So I actually won't list all of my weaknesses, or I'll be on here for quite a bit. Anyway, so my name's Megan Robinson. I started, I signed on as a coach in November of 2013, but I was one of those coaches that was, I was postpartum, just wanted to lose some baby weight. And I was one of those coaches that was like, I'm going to figure everything out before I start. For the first 2 months, didn't take any action. So I actually started working my business in January of 2014. So this past January was my 4-year anniversary as a coach. I'm 3-time elite, or my team we're a 3-time elite team. And I actually had my first elite leader this year, which was super exciting, because I always had a vision of this, to me, I'm not successful in this business unless I'm duplicating what I'm doing, right? If my team's not having wins, if they're not generating income, then I'm not doing something right. So I'm a 6-star diamond in my first business center, and I am a 1-star in my second. And I would say my strengths are developing diamond coaches and leadership, developing leaders, and creating vision and breathing belief into my coaches. And that's not false belief. I help them with goal setting. Goal setting is something I'm really big on, and stretch goals. And I don't breathe that belief into them unless I really see it. But that's their option, whether they go with it or not. Another strength of mine is attracting business builders. I'm not a big recruiter. I have a very small team with my ratio of, like, for instance, this is embarrassing to admit, but my second business center was in 4-star qual, or could have been in 4-star qual for like months, but I didn't have enough PS coaches in it. It's embarrassing, but it's true. And my other strength is showing up no matter what. I really have a no excuse attitude. Ever since I've been in this business, I've always had a pretty trying circumstance always up against me. And then when I think the coast is clear, something else jumps out and is really there to throw me for a loop. But I always I found a way to lean into this business, and it's really been therapeutic for me. And it's the way that, even sometimes I know it's stressful, and it can be for us, I've found a way to find joy to help me relieve my stress through helping people, coaches and challengers included. My weaknesses: communicating with all types of personalities. I really have a no-nonsense attitude. Some people refer to it as tough love. My therapist calls it no nonsense. And, you know, but really, I just have trouble communicating with all personalities. Some people just cannot take to my no nonsense, no excuse attitude. So I'm really trying to work on that. Also, I think another weakness I have, my daughter's saying hi, is making myself too available to my coaches. I have a tendency just to respond to their messages and things like that. I need to set more business hours and also to delegate. I feel like I need to delegate more to virtual assistants and stuff, but I'm really OCD. So I'm really struggling with that. So then when they do stuff, I'm like, nope, not good enough. I feel like I have to do everything or it's not gonna be done the right way, which is not gonna fly because I'm the only parent of my daughter. And it doesn't allow me to separate mom and business. It's like, I feel like sometimes I'm always hiding my phone. Not good. One of my biggest weaknesses, staying in phase one of my business. At the beginning, at one point in my business, I felt like last year was not this 2017, 2016 was a comeback kid year for me. In June of 2016, the month before Summit, I was ranked in like the 1500s. And I looked, and I didn't hit Success Club that month. And I talked to Matthewson's my mentor, and I said, oh my gosh, I need to do something. We're not going to be an elite team. I had been trying to drag these coaches along. I had vision for them, but they didn't see it for themselves. I learned a big lesson that year, that I was trying to micromanage and I was trying to pull people along. People that get you where you are not always going to be the people that get you where you want to go. Learned that year. Did make a comeback and we ended up 147, but it was a huge learning year. But also, and I have a problem with staying in phase one with my fitness as well. I did P90X3.
Oh no. Oh no.
Are
you there?
Sorry.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, sorry. That was a call coming in. Am I there? Okay. The 21-day fix, I didn't do another full program until I was in the Shift Shop test group. That's bad. Well, because I have ADD like Taryn, so I'm all over the place. And then last but not least, and I know this isn't a bad problem to have necessarily, I'm on a pretty strong leg so I have a really hard time deciding, should I be building for rank or should I be building for income? So I struggle with where to place my coaches.
Yep, no, that's a good problem to have. Like you mentioned, it's not the worst problem to have. There's definitely worse things out there. And that's something a lot of people need to figure out because unfortunately, rank and income do not go together in this business. I think you guys are aware of that. So you do need to figure out what matters most to you, and then we can work towards that. Holy cow, this is like a therapy session. That was a lot of fun to get to know you guys. I feel better. I feel like we got a lot of stuff off of our chest. And I feel like honestly, you guys mesh. Like you guys really have a lot of similar things, and I think we can build off of each other. I don't think there'll be any hesitation in chiming in on future calls with thoughts. And let me just give you two quick thoughts before we end. I know I try to keep these to 45 minutes just so you guys are aware. I don't want to, and you guys got lives, and you need to live those. But let me just give two quick thoughts. And this is something that I mentioned in the last, towards the end of the last Mastermind group. The book I finished reading earlier was called Frogs Matter Most. It's not Eat That Frog, but it's called Frogs Matter Most. And the book suggests that when it comes to leadership, there's a lot of times a lot of people focus on the bottom line dollars, on getting people to act, on moving the needle, on getting people, getting results. The book suggests that those people are called managers, not leaders. And on the flip side of the coin, you have everybody people matter most. The relationships, making sure there's good team culture, helping people through the struggles or whatever. He said those people are called mentors, not necessarily leaders. The book suggests that the leader is the best combination of manager and mentor. Knowing when to push, knowing when to pull, and knowing when to give a hug. It's very difficult. We don't take college classes on how to become a leader. We kind of just have gone through, we've had personal experiences, life experiences that helped us get to where we are as a leader. And so we lead based on what we know is best, what kind of helps us. And that'll bring you a level of success. The book is called Frogs Matter Most. It'll bring you to a certain level of success. And I think a lot of you have either reached that level or are currently getting to that level. But unfortunately, that level is going to be capped. If you want to increase your success, you're going to have to increase your leadership. Success follows leadership. And you have brought your success to a certain level. Congratulations. And what then becomes frustrating is we expect more success, but we're not willing to increase our leadership. That is a mismatched thing, and that brings frustration into our lives. And so we feel capped. We feel like we're not growing anymore. And a lot of it does depend on the individual, but I'm going to put most of the blame on us as leaders. How can I help this person grow? How can I help my team? How can I get the people I'm currently working with to move? Maybe I'm too manager mode, or maybe I'm too mentor mode. There's a healthy combination that we need to figure out what that works best for you. And that's the purpose of this mastermind. Too many times and a lot of you said this, you said, I'm good at setting the example. I'm good at 10Xing some of the things that I even give my people, but nobody follows you. You're assuming that when you set the example, when you do hard things, that people will look at you and say, yeah, I want to do that too. That may happen, but you're assuming. Don't assume in this business. Do not assume. You need to put that in the same category as hope. If all you do, because then you'll be frustrated. The best thing that can happen is open communication, where you know the individual, you know how to talk to them, they know how to respond to you. When it comes to them falling off the horse, you know how to say, get back on the horse the right way that inspires them. That's a leadership skill. You can't just assume that they will do certain things. I had a coach once who had the best trainings, hands down, I've ever seen a Beachbody coach have. Phenomenal. You had a question about anything, she would give you whatever you wanted, and it was a perfect thing. But she didn't know how to inspire people. She simply just gave structure. She gave systems in place. All of those things. She eventually had to quit because her husband said, you're not making enough money. It was a downfall for her. Her trainings were a downfall because she didn't understand this leadership concept of how to talk to somebody and get them to move. That's the purpose of this mastermind group. So anyways, I'm very excited about what we're going to be able to accomplish. Let me say this last thing. Our Facebook group page, please keep it active. This is not where Kevin posts, here's the link for the next call. If you have a question, post it. If you're struggling with something, post it. If you found the coolest thing ever, post it. If you have success, post it. I want this to be a very active group. I want this to be engaging. I want you guys to feed off of each other. And because, once again, what you put into this is what you'll get out of this. If you're not willing to put in and only take, I promise you, you're not going to be satisfied. Put some stake in the game. Let's share the good, the bad, the ugly, and let's make this, from now until summit, the best months of our coaching business. We're going to have so much fun learning about leadership. We're going to get stressed. I'm going to give you uncomfortable homework assignments. It's going to be a lot of fun. But thanks so much for sharing, guys. It was so fun to get to know you on a personal level. We will see you in 2 weeks. So not next week. The week after that is when we'll meet for our next call. So we'll see you then. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.